He was in the house. It was like the whole house just became like doomed when he walked through that door. I was terrified.
Very few people knew what I was going through. The advice that I was given, you can't live like this, get out of the marriage, but it's not that easy.
It was just silly little things. There might have been a speck of dust, or I didn't do the dinner the way he wanted it. Silly little things that, you know, I hear other women say and I think, gosh, and I stayed there.
I just hid the violence for many years from everyone. I just, you know, didn't tell a soul. If it wasn't for Jewish Women's Aid, I might be dead today. You know, that's how I feel. I met my ex-husband in a nightclub when I was about 19. A few months after we started living together, he started wearing me down where I didn't have my own mind anymore. It started to get physical. Sometimes it would be a kick or a punch, a push. Sometimes he would throw things at me across the room. He smashed a heavy iron saucepan in my face. He would say to me that he was going to kill me if I left, and I actually believed him. I actually believed he would kill me.
The first 5 years of our marriage was as you'd expect it to be, and then things changed. His attitude towards me was very controlling. You're continually being undermined, telling you that you're ugly, you dress inappropriately, you're a bad mother. I became this little person almost.
My ex-husband, who was assumingly a gentleman, which is why I married him, he started to get a bit controlling. It was, oh, where are you going, what are you doing, who are you doing it with? There was physical abuse. I had a miscarriage. He nearly strangled me. He blamed me, said it was my fault, which was a really difficult time. I wanted my marriage to work, so I just allowed it to happen until it got out of hand.
I think that you take for granted waking up in the morning and opening the curtains, opening the windows. I did nothing of that. I lived in darkness. I would check every noise. I would sleep holding my mobile phone in my hand because I didn't know what was going to happen next.
And if I would try to leave, he would run after me and beg me and cry and be really, really sorry, and he would be lovely, charming. It was the same pattern for many, many years.
The worst for me was the verbal abuse, because you can get punched, you get a bruise, and that bruise heals, and almost that period of that argument goes. But verbal abuse is a continual leakage. My children saw me crying, they saw me scared. Not only was I suffering, but my children were suffering, and I think that's when I had to put a stop to it.
I went to the doctors because I thought I was pregnant again, and they confirmed that I was. And when I was in there, I saw a poster on the wall advertising Jewish Women's Aid. And when I was about 2 months pregnant, I had an argument with him and he kicked me in the stomach. I called the helpline. They said something about a Jewish refuge and they told me to come in straight away. I was petrified. I didn't know what to expect. But when I first got there, I felt such a huge relief. I felt safe for the first time in years. I felt good that it was a Jewish refuge. They had a kosher kitchen. I couldn't have stayed in another sort of refuge.
Jewish Women's Aid had this trip that they were going to Willow Farm. It was amazing. I could turn around to my kids and say, we're going to Willow Farm. You know, that's a huge treat. And that kind of, for that second or for that hour or 2 hours, however long, I felt normal again.
Jewish Women's Aid was unbelievably fantastic for me. I was so crushed and broken and didn't really know what to do. What was really nice was able to actually talk to somebody on the phone who was really kind and came out, met me in a park, which was really safe for me. There is a mutual understanding of also what we go through as a married woman in the Jewish community. You know, they respected Shabbos, they didn't phone me out because they knew it was the Sabbath.
I didn't have a penny, but they told me not to worry. They told me they sort everything out for me, my financial status, my housing, everything. And they did.
I can't tell you how thankful I am for those phone calls from the key worker who actually gave me that initial hope that it's okay. I've overcome the fear, and that was done through counselling, through support, through reassurance, through knowing that there are other women out there who are also experiencing the same thing as me.
I'm still supported by Jewish Women's Aid. It wasn't, oh, you've been moved to a new house, that's it, we're done. It's been continuous support to this day.
Having someone that knows your story is so important, and I just wish that I'd told someone sooner.
I don't believe that I would feel as I am today if I didn't have Jewish Women's Aid, and I really mean that.